of the Mighty Metal Hangout podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm joined by my friend L. We are metalheads and prog enthusiasts, and we are here to talk about metal music, its history, trends, artists who made it what it is right now, and how it influenced us in our lives. And we are not experts, but we are learners and explorers. So here we have made this plan to learn together, explore together, and share it with everyone. So welcome to our first episode. And L, welcome to the show, man. And I'm really excited for it.
Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate it. It's great to be here and talk about prog. So I'm gonna talk more about the structure of the upcoming episodes here. So this episode's gonna be one episode a month, and it's gonna be around 1 hour. And we're gonna talk first about catching up. So me and Mike, we're gonna catch up, talks like what we're doing and what we're up to. We're also gonna talk about the concerts that we planning to attend or the concerts that we just enjoyed. Other than that, we could talk about some updates, some prog news, metal news, very interesting things. So stay tuned. After that, the meat and potato of our episode is gonna be choosing one band. So we're gonna talk about the discography of one band. We're gonna have some fun facts, some basic info, our opinion, but mainly we're gonna do an album's review. So we're gonna do an album by an album rating, and in the end, we're gonna have our top recommendations for what's like the best thing to kind of the things that we don't want to miss, let's say. So
Exactly. And that brings us to the reason you must be wondering why we have started this. So, just to let you guys know, we are very passionate about this music, and we figured, it's been a while. We've been listening to a lot of songs, and we figured that even though we know a lot of things, there's still a lot of things out there that we have no idea about. And it's in the same sphere of what we were into or are into right now. So that's the plan. When we are selecting a band, we are just diving deep into their history and their band members, their story behind the entire project. And that will give us a pretty good idea why they did it. And, it's just really interesting for us to figure out because we are prog enthusiasts. So progressive music has lots of different elements and energies in it, and it's an experience. It's not just regular music that you hear every day. So really excited, and we'll also appreciate if our audience, all the listeners who are listening to this episode, please follow us and share the podcast and let us know if you what you like or what you don't like. We'll definitely going to improve with time, and we also appreciate your recommendation. If you think we should dive deep into a certain band, we'll definitely do that. We'll consider it in our future episodes. And yep. So Al, you would like to add anything? How are we going to proceed and what it's
yeah,
gonna be?
yeah, definitely. So we are really, really open for recommendation. If anyone think that there is a band that's worth checking, especially there is I've noticed like there is so many local or starting bands that have an amazing material and amazing music that's worth sharing. So as Mike said, this is our main goal, is to explore more, learn more, and share kind of this good music and good selection. Other than that, for the upcoming episode and our this is we will call this episode 0. So for the first episode, when we start, we already make the choice, and we going to review maybe our favorite band or at least one of the top 3 bands for both me and Mike, and it's drum rolls, Opeth.
Yes, and it's very special. The reason why we are going to do Opeth in our first episode, in our premiere episode, is because we met at the Opeth concert in Calgary, Alberta. And it's very special because we both been listening to this band for a while, and we both were very inclined towards their style of music, especially Michael Echofield, how he created those soundtracks back in the day and how they transition towards different kind of music. So there are lots of mixed emotions that we have and lots of mixed things that we need to share with you guys. And of course, by doing that, we will be learning about the band itself. Even though it's one of our favorite bands, we don't know everything about it. So if you guys think we are experts on these kind of this industry or this music genre, no, we are not experts. We are music lovers. We don't make music or play instruments. Well, L is a bass player now. He just started learning bass, so that's really inspiring for me as well, because I did start playing guitar back in my college days, and I stopped it for a while, but I think I'm gonna pick it up soon.
You
So,
should.
well, it's really interesting because it's like a companion, right? If you have a music instrument, be it any instrument, it's always there with you, and you don't feel lonely. I personally don't feel like that, but if you have an instrument, it just makes everything easy, and you just kind of enjoy the time whenever you are on it.
It's actually relaxing as well. It's a different
Mm,
kind of relaxation, when you listen to music, you have a like special aspect, especially when it's prog music. You as you said,
definitely,
it's very special. You go into the journey, but playing music have its own journey as well. So
for sure,
I, re-
absolutely.
I really recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, in our podcast, we won't be limited to prog. Of course, we will be focusing on more and more prog bands, but it doesn't mean that we won't be talking about thrash metal, let's say, or any other genre of rock and roll or metal music. We may even go towards jazz, but we are going to keep it open so that we can learn about music in general and share more and more things about it and learn.
So maybe speaking about the catching up, maybe we'll do some catching up. So Mike, what kind of concert you've been recently into, and which concerts you're looking forward? Since I'm talking about this because like both me and Mike really into concerts and enjoy attending live music. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, I was lucky enough to see my newly favorite artist
I saw the
live.
picture. You took some picture with her as well. That's
And
amazing.
I'm really glad to have her new album on vinyl. And that's my,
Amazing.
you can call it a premiere or a first vinyl for my new collection. So this band is called Sylvain. They are from Norway. I say they because it's a band, but technically it's just one person who's responsible for all the instrumentation in the entire album. So it's a one woman band. Her name is Catherine Shepherd. She does everything in that band. So from vocals to guitars to bass, drums, and even the music composition, production. I think she handles most of the part, and the music that she makes, it's basically it has progressive elements in it, but it's mostly atmospheric black metal, and it's very interesting. I am really a fan of this genre because I've been listening to Alcest and similar bands because they have atmospheric elements which are related to nature, and I love nature. So I was really happy to see her live playing her new album. And I think you remember I played one of the songs in our demo episodes called Fortapt. It was a sample, and guess what, they did play that particular song live for the first time in Calgary
Wow.
in their entire tour, and I was like, is it really happening? Like, I, I think I was in tears. Like, not literally, but I was very emotionally attached to that feeling at that time, and I was really happy they performed that. And I won't forget this moment definitely, because she's amazing. She's really talented, and I'm glad they came here. So really wonderful music. If you haven't heard that album, it's called Nova, by Sylvain, atmospheric black metal for Norway, and just it's relaxing, and yeah, it's wonderful. So that was the concert I attended 2 weeks ago. Yesterday I saw Airborne live here in Calgary in Palace Theatre. Very different music from the one that I just discussed right now. So Airborne is like in the face hard rock and roll kind of band. It's some people also call it ACDC ripoff from Australia. I don't know, man. I've seen one
Are
video.
they from Australia?
Yes, they're
Oh,
from
they are as well.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think I read one article where Brian Johnson I think someone else from ACDC, they were talking about Airborne, and they were really appreciating Airborne of whatever they're doing. They were not like, oh, they're just copying us. No, they were not like that. So that's very good. And when Airborne guy, vocalist, I think his name is Joel, uh, when he heard about this, he was really happy because he's getting a comment from the legends. And now, you know even the fans, they call Airborne legends, because it's been like more than, I think, 15 years now they've been performing, and they know how to rock, man. Yesterday it was like crazy. I've posted videos on Instagram. You must have seen that the guy is in the crowd, and he's like smashing the beer can on his
That was
head.
really cool. Yeah.
Just hardcore, man. It's just amazing. I'm going to get vinyl for their album. This album called Running Wild from 2007, and yeah, it's just straight in the face hard rock, guys. If you are into rock and roll, even if you are not into rock and roll, you must have seen WWE, and you must have heard this entrance song of Triple H. That's a song called "The Game" by Motorhead, and these guys are inspired by Motorhead and Lemmy, and that's why they kind of gave a respect to Lemmy, and they drank Jack and Coke on the stage. So that was pretty good. So yeah, man. These couple of weeks, my experiences have been really, really good. I've been enjoying the weekends. There's another show upcoming this weekend. Testament and a couple of bands are performing here, so I'm looking forward for that as well. So, what about you? Have you seen any concerts recently, or discovered any new music?
Well, yeah. This today is October, 1st October, but the past month I went to two live shows. One for the German band Elder, and they're really growing, and they have a really good crowd. And actually, there was two other bands with them, and one of them, I think for me now it's like my favorite. Like versus even I went for Elder, and it's a band from Denver, from the States, and you really need to check it out if you're into prog or some death
Even
metal,
psychedelic,
maybe.
right?
No, they are not psychedelic actually. The other band was kind of more psychedelic, but this band called Dead Knot. The name is a bit confusing, and there is many bands with this name. But if you put Dead Knot Denver or Dead Knot US, I think they have a future. So they have some albums, but kind of not a full like long albums. They are just starting, but I think they have an amazing future. And
That's
they
great.
do like they do both. They have the vocals. The vocals are like two ladies.
Mhm.
One doing clear vocals, and the other one do clear and growls. So
Nice.
it's a quite interesting. Other than that, in 2 weeks, I'm going to see psychedelic porn crumpets.
Yeah.
They are from Australia as
Nice.
well. I've been watching this band for a while, and they're really really interesting. So their vinyls is quite interesting. It's very artistic, and their music is also related to art. So it's very very interesting to check out.
Amazing. This brings us to our hobbies. So I wanna give shout out to Al. First of all, he inspired me to get into vinyl records and listening to the actual piece of music instead of streaming online, because I mean I knew that it's a hobby for a lot of people. Al is already doing it. He has a really good collection at his place. I actually visited Montreal last month to see Rammstein. We saw Rammstein together. It was a great show. I think more than 40,000 fans gathered, and we experienced really good show in Montreal. We had Putin, and although it was raining, but at the time of the show, it just was perfect. So it was amazing, and yeah, I I wanna thank Al again to you to convince me to come, because I was about to cancel because of certain reasons, but I'm glad I didn't. So yeah, you wanna share anything about that?
Well, I want to thank you as well because you convinced me. I was like, I do like Rammstein, but um, as a music, it's not kind of my favorite type of music. Even I do listen to them, and especially after I watched the live show. But you were like, no, you need to check that out. And by far, I think it's, and I talked to many metalheads before. I think it's the best live show a metal band can show, with all the pyro works, with all the narrative, the lightning, all the engineering and effects, visual effects. It's very very recommended at least once. I know, like for me, my favorite show, maybe even my favorite band, is Riverside because I'm attached to the music. So the moment I get into the stage, and I was late because I flew all the way. I was living in Calgary back then, and I flew from Calgary to Toronto just to check Riverside. I think they were very very interesting to see live, and it's also about the music. Sometimes even the biggest stage, it's fun, but when it's come to the music,
Definitely, you get attached to some kind of music, even though it's not that huge. Like Rammstein, it was huge, but they didn't have technicality in the music. It wasn't They didn't have virtuosity in the show. It was just the show was amazing, and everything was great in terms of the set, how they are executing on the stage. That was perfect, and the entire crowd, we enjoyed. So, but what you are talking about, I totally get it, because my favorite band is Opeth. In Prague, definitely that comes first. Even though they have different music style now, but I think music is eternal. So even 20 years old albums are like eternal. They are still here and they are the same, and energy never, it cannot be destroyed, right? It's always there. So it's always going to be constant for me. And I'm hoping, since they have a new drummer, maybe they'll get back to death metal. Who knows?
since we
Yeah.
since we're speaking about prog and vinyls, I appreciate what Michael Akrefeld said when did he have some videos where he talk about the vinyl collection, and he used actually to work in a record store, which is very
Yeah.
interesting. So appreciating the music, you could go for a live show, or you could somebody tell you about a band and you listen to it, versus you bringing the record and you have the lyrics and you put it on and you listen to the whole album. So it's a different appreciating, and it's a different experience. And around 2 or 3 weeks ago, I don't exactly remember, there was, I told you about this record massive sale was in
Mm.
Montreal, and I got a collection. Maybe I'll share later. I got a bunch of records as well, and it was
Nice.
amazing. I took a friend. Yeah, I took a friend with me, and my friend Paul. He's not into the vinyls and everything, but he was shocked. He was like, it was very very crowded, and he was like, "Wow, man, there is massive culture." I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Do you notice like there is kids and there is seniors?"
Mm.
He was like, "Yeah, wow." I was like, "Yeah, that's what's shocking me. Like, I understand people who were teenagers or young in the 70s,
Mm.
but what is funny that we were
Yeah.
walking outside and there's kids like 20, 10, 15 having vinyls and like happy about it, which is
Mm.
pretty interesting to see. It's kind
Yeah,
of
man.
clash of the time and culture and
It's like the same era that we used to have in the 60s and the 70s. It's coming back again. It's coming back to life. And, people are doing it. People of our age or who were teenagers back in the day and who used to listen to that music. Because of them, it's still alive. So people are getting aware of it. Just like me, I didn't have a lot of people who had vinyl records and who had the hobby of collecting records, but I knew that that thing existed before, but I had no idea that even now people are doing it. And when I got to know about how it feels like to have the music in hand, like the as you were saying, I remember you were talking about the Ocean band, the artwork. It's just amazing when you have it in your place, see the artwork, you can have it in your hands and appreciate the work that the band has done. And the entire album, you can just feel it with your soul. Like you that music is with you at that time. It's not just electronically saved in your device. When you play a record on a vinyl, sorry, when you play a vinyl record, you actually give respect to that music. You can't press a button to, switch to a different band or an album. You sit there, you respect, you give time, you invest in that music. I hope more and more people do it, and I'm happy that a lot of bands are still producing vinyl records. And even I was watching one video recently. There are more and more companies who are investing on manufacturing vinyl records. So the factories are also expanding now, where they, get the raw materials and they kind of even use the older vinyl to create new ones. There's a process for that. That's really, really interesting.
yeah. Actually, I was checking some graphs about the sales, and recently the vinyls like sales skyrocketed,
Hmm.
and that's also come when it's collection and like have some rare items, because you can stream a song like unlimited time, almost unlimited time of times, versus for the records, if they have like an edition, they do have a limited number, and that's gonna be distributed all over the world. So
Yeah,
also that's a scarcity factor.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, other than the word, the art and appreciating the music, the other thing is like enjoying a high quality
True.
product versus limiting yourself to the digital world.
Definitely. And some people were also comparing vinyl records with CD. And it's a known fact technically that both CD and vinyl have the similar kind of audio quality. However, CD is still digital format, even though the quality is same. Again, it's totally up to the fans. We are not saying vinyl is better than CD. We are just considering vinyl a superior way of listening to music, because when you have the disc, you have grooves in that vinyl record. So those grooves are actually the notes of the music. Technically, I'm not sure if it's called notes, but these are actual grooves that when you put it on a record player, the needle goes through those grooves smoothly, and that's how the music is played. So that frequency from the grooves, that's converted from that device to sound, to music, basically. And that's the, I think that's the uh, raw music that's coming from there. So I think that that's really interesting, and I'm glad to have at least one vinyl at the moment in my room right now. And the artwork is amazing, man. uh have you heard, have you give it a try for Nova
Um,
from Sylvain?
I don't think so yet. I don't think so.
Okay, it's a really good album, and I do have one sample music just to give our audience an idea. I know we have already talked about Sylvain and how beautiful their album is. It's just because it's our intro episode. I just wanna let our audience know that how it's going to be when we'll discuss about music, and yeah. So let me play it for you guys. All right. So that was the song called "For Tapped" by Sylvain from their new album called Nova, and it's really good because it has progressive elements, atmospheric vibe, and I just wanted to play it for our audience to get an idea what kind of music Sylvain has made. Yeah. So that was it. Before we jump into the outro of this episode, Al, do you want to add something or conclude something?
Oh, I think that's quite good for a start.
All right, guys. So if you made it this far, congratulations. As a reminder, we are not music experts or experienced musicians. This podcast is about commentary and opinion on metal music. We use samples to make our point, share the content, and of course, to educate others about this special genre of music. We make absolutely no claims of copyright to any music featured in our samples, and we strongly recommend that you support the artist by buying their music records, merchandise, or by seeing them live. So, if you're an artist and you'd like us to change how we have used our content on this show, please contact us directly so we can work together. You can write to us at mmetalhangout@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us on Instagram. Alright, guys, that's me, Mike, and
Al.